Good evening.
Hi, how are you, Sunil?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. How about you?
I've been doing well, thank you. So, how was the day? And before getting to proceedings, can you please introduce yourself as you're meeting for the first time?
Yes, sure. My name is Sunil. I'm from Delhi. Regarding my educational qualification, I'm a graduate. When it comes to my professional life, I have been a teacher of English where I run a sort of institute where I have a few students who I share my knowledge with. When it comes to my hobby, I love listening to music. That's it.
How lovely. So, as you're meeting for the first time, I think it is a best opportunity for me also to introduce myself. So, my name is Vishali, and I've been associated with EnglishYaari from past 1.5 years. And if it comes as is, I am, of course, having a conversation with you. Let me tell you something about my educational journey and also with the students. So, as it comes to the journey, I have been an educator from past 6 years, and I have been teaching children from grade 6 to 12th and graduation for English and sciences. So here I am to help you and to give you insights about how we can somehow improve English and our communication.
Right.
So tell me, Sunil, how you come to English Yari? Have you been like associated with English Yari, and how can we help you with? And what makes you to reach out to English Yari?
English Yari is already doing very well. And if you watch any video on YouTube, you are going to encounter two or three videos from English Yari. So that's how I got to know about English Yari. And my experience with English Yari has been marvelous. And this is going to be the second time I renewed my session or my
Wow.
subscription, where I found that I have also improved and the mistakes which I was not really mindful of. Now I know, okay, what my mistakes are, and I have really worked on my mistakes. So that's how I appreciate English Yari and especially the tutors on English Yari.
That's so lovely to have it from your end, because if there is someone who is appreciating and they are putting up every acknowledgement to an educator's end, that makes the day. And in fact, as an organization, we are somehow thankful to all the people who are subscribing every day. And they are the only ones who are making this organization run. So thank you so much for joining here again.
My
So,
pleasure.
thank you so much. So, Sunil, before starting with the session, I just wanted to inquire certain questions about your day. So, can we just hear from you how was the day? And since it's the evening time, along with we have Diwali around the corner only. So,
Mhm.
anything up on your mind?
For Diwali, I feel Diwali is one of my favorite festivals, and I'm looking forward to celebrating this festival. It gives me a lot of happiness. I get to buy new clothes. I get a chance to help my mother or my parents to clean room or to make it adorable. And we also go for a sort of puja that we do usually in the evening. And I feel that that is the time when we come together and we feel peace at that point of time. And this is one of the auspicious days where we have people who come our home. We go to people there, we exchange the boxes of sweet. This is the festival of light. Everywhere it looks very nice. And I guess this festival comes with two or three more festivals. Before Diwali we have one festival, after Diwali we also have two to three festivals. So like this we have almost a week for festivals. Yes, if I talk about my day, what I did till now, so I feel that my day has been usual. There isn't anything new to my day. But I would love to tell you that what I did, I woke up a bit early. These days, I try to wake up early.
Wow,
Yeah.
so
And
wonderful.
yeah, thank you. And after that, it's my habit to drink one glass of water. If it does not work, I go for the another one. I like to have more and more water. I That's how it starts my day. Then I freshen up. If I have time, I study whatever I like. It's my habit to read things on a daily basis. I try to recall, okay, what I read last time. This is what I do in the morning. After that, I try to do some exercises at my home. My routine is mutable. It means it keeps changing. If I have time, I do exercise. If I feel okay, if I have extra time, I also go for some sort of yoga, where I try to perform yoga for my face. I have some face exercises where I make a sort of fish face to get rid of this chubby face. After that, I take a bath. After taking a bath, I get ready to have breakfast. Soon after, I watch television, I check my phone. So like this, I do things. And
Wow, so much you are doing in just one day. And if I may have to just speak up about that specific thing, the face yoga, would you please somehow give me the tips how you are proceeding with the face yoga? I really want to get rid of the chubby cheeks which I have, because this is one of the things I'm trying to work on from couple of weeks, but I'm unable to see the changes with the same. And yeah, please go ahead.
ma'am, there are going to be 2 to 3 exercises, and I might look a bit witty if I tell you this, but I would certainly tell.
And I believe this exercise was certainly not for the cheeks, but also for the eyes, the brain, to, of course, work with frequency, the Om chant. And along with that, the kind of exercises you were telling, it, of course, refreshes the mind, if I may have to add in. So that's
Yes, yes,
quite
yes.
wonderful. And I'm definitely going to note these down so that I could come up with a person who has chiseled jawline as well. All right. So I really wanted to add in certain points which you have mentioned about Diwali. So, Diwali being the festival which, of course, everybody waits for the entire year, this
Right.
festival has been absolute favorite for me as well. Since, like you have already mentioned, I definitely resonate with whatever you have said, and I wouldn't agree more that this is the time where everybody comes together and they share their heart out. They make memories, they share their heart out, they actually feel the heart elated during the moment if they're sharing certain things with each other. Of course,
Right.
sweets is something which we have materialized. In any case, sweets is something which we are going to add in the flavor in the lives of others as well. So
Right.
I would definitely not go beyond this, because otherwise I will be the only solely the person speaking about it. So, as we're going to proceed for the same, this
Mhm.
is a protocol, or let's say a routine, which we do in EnglishYaari classes. And I am quite sure that you are well aware of it. That we
Mhm.
are going to go with the topic which is assigned to
Right.
you in the beginning. And
Mhm.
I am assuming that you must would have read about the topic prior the class.
Yes, I know about the topic a bit, but I never go with the notes. I never do that, but I'm well aware of the topic.
All right, that's good. So, do you want to proceed with the same topic, or do you want the conversation to be on casual note?
No, ma'am, this topic is pretty intriguing.
Wow. So, how should we go about? Should we go about the topic then?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Whatever you
All
feel
right.
like doing, yes, we can go for that. I'm okay with this.
All right. Thank you. That's so wonderful to hear from your end. So, as the topic says, that it is going to be if I became prime minister.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, Prime Minister is something or some entity who is going to play an important role for the country. And not
Mm-hmm.
only the visionary person for the country, they have to be visionary for the entire world, because we are
Right.
also working on the global peace and global leadership as well. So, what are the thoughts on what if you became a prime minister, and how going to proceed with the ideas, and what ideas will be implemented in terms and in trust for the people around, be the
All right.
country or the world?
Mm-hmm. Yes, if I were the president of India, this would have been an honor for me. And I it brings a smile to my face when I think of being the president of India. Oh, sorry, the prime minister of India, my
Right.
bad.
Yes.
Yes. So the thing is, these days people are not able to get a job of a clerk, but where I would become the Prime Minister of India, that is going to be a win-win situation for me. And I feel that this is one of the posts that comes with a lot of responsibility. Once you are at that post, you become so responsible.
Indeed.
Whatsoever happens in the country, that you are accountable for that. And I guess most of the decisions are taken by the Prime Minister of India. And we know that so far we have got 15th Prime Minister, and I would be the 16th the Prime Minister of India if I got a chance to be one. And the things I would like to implement if I became the Prime Minister of India, the first thing is that I would go for more job opportunities. I would create a lot of jobs where people would be able to work according to their education. The second thing is that I would try to prioritize technology a lot. I would try to have a lot of technology in India so that people would never ever think of going abroad. They would have everything in India. The third thing is that I would certainly work for the betterment of girls. I would try to increase the safety for girls. I would deploy a lot of police officers in every corner so that girls could feel safe whatever time they went out. And the last thing I would go for that I would try my level best to eradicate corruption from India. And yes, I would also like to have good relationship with other country people or other country presidents or the prime ministers. So that's how I would work.
Marvelous, wonderful. I would say the way you have put forward your thoughts, the way you have kept in mind that the people of India have already chosen a person who's going to represent them is wonderfully presented by you. And I would have, had I been an audience in the same crowd who would have listened to you at the point of time, I would have given a big round of applause. And yes, I could see that zeal and convincing power in your words and the way you have emphasized on not only one aspect, but other way you have already focused on all the aspects and parameters which a prime minister, a person who is going to somehow reflect upon, or who is going to be the one who is representing the crowd, the people of the nation. You have put forward quite well, sir. But here comes the turn. So it's a
Mhm.
challenging question, a tricky one. I hope you are quite acquainted with the knowledge for this. And I'm going to hear up certain things in a very tricky manner where you have to use a good modification of your
Mhm.
knowledge. So,
Go ahead.
are you ready for that?
Yeah, sure.
So, all the points which if you have already implemented in your conversation or in your speech were convincing. However, if I am an audience, I know the same prime ministers were speaking about the details which you have already covered in the aspects. What extra are you going to do? Because these pointers are already covered by the government and the prime minister. What ex?
Sorry for that. Yes.
No problem, sir, no problem.
Yes, my mother was at the door. Okay. So the thing is that I would never ever become a person who only says and does not do things. And people are going to see the promises I'm going to make by my work. That if I make any promises, I would truly stick to that promise. I would truly execute that plan. And the first and foremost thing is that people always want jobs. And I would create a lot of jobs for people. That's how they are going to trust the party I'm going to lead. That's how they are going to be assured, okay, this person is the right person we have chosen. So this is the first thing. And I would not criticize other political parties. As I said, I would believe in doing things rather than saying, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. I would I would show my work by doing things to the
I can see the heart palpitations rising. I can see
people.
the heartbeat rising in the candidate and the
Yes,
potential
yes,
candidate we have. It's quite all right if these are the pointers which I've put forward. It's quite all right. If you are thinking about it, then we can proceed with. Otherwise, we can end and summarize with this, whatever you have
yes.
already mentioned.
Yes, I would go for all these points which I mentioned. Yes,
All right.
that's
So
lovely.
our potential candidate has already convinced the audience. So it
Oh,
is, of course, in the audience hand whom they are gonna give the powers to. So
mhm.
I hope you all the best, and I wish you all the best, and hope
Thank
the
you.
best man win or the best person win. So with
Yes.
this, we come to the we come to the conclusion of the session, Sunil. So
Mhm.
I was quite surprised when you have mentioned about your YouTube journey, and YouTube
Mhm.
mentioned about the same. And as I am talking to a person who has been quite acquainted with this language, it was something good for my ears to hear. Along with that, it was such a good, wonderful time to have you here, Sunil. But at the same time, I would like you to summarize the entire series of episodes or the conversation we just had in our one session. And what are the key takeaways you must would carry along after this conversation?
Sure.
Any key takeaways you're going to take from our conversation?
Okay, the key is that it was a wonderful time to be with you, and the way you put me in a situation, I'm going to work on that. I would try to put myself in a situation where I'll be uncomfortable, and I would think out of the box so that if I have a chance to meet you in future, I would be able to express my thoughts in a very clear way.
That's wonderful. That's something which everybody should look forward to, because I think we are just not learners for once, we are learners throughout our lives. And this
Right,
is how we can keep our spirits high and we can keep ourselves motivated to learn more and achieve more and to excel more. Right?
right, right.
Okay. So now comes the feedback time. Are you ready for the feedback, sir? I'm so
Yes.
sorry. You are already someone who is teaching so many kids out there. I feel somehow
No, but
petrified with the thought only that I have to give the feedback.
always open to get the feedback. And my problem is that whenever I start this conversation, I have always been after accuracy. And in order to be so accurate, and sometimes I'm not able to focus on grammar, sometimes I'm not able to focus on the right pronunciation. This is my problem, and I'm always too open to getting the feedback, and it's going to be a privilege for me to get the feedback from you. And I'm
How
certainly going
lovely.
to work. Yes, going to work on my feedback. And when I watch the video for the second time, then I realize, okay, how come I made a very silly mistake? I must not have done that. And for the next time, I remember that, okay, my previous mistakes were those. Now I'm going to keep them aside. I am not going to repeat those mistakes.
I think it's quite all right because we are only humans and only humans are tend to make mistakes. And when it comes to mistakes, there's always a second chance and there's always room for improvement. If I'm not
Yes.
wrong, please
Yes.
interrupt me there and then.
No, 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 no. You're absolutely right about it.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. And even I would, as a learner, as an educator, as a facilitator, I've been working from a couple of years from now. So I would say that every time I even open a video, I see a lot of mistakes which might have happened during the course. And we, being unaware of, or maybe not really conscious of whatever we are speaking in a
Right.
flow, might would come across more or less times as a mistake. But I think that can be taken care of more or
Yeah.
less in the certainly next time.
Right,
Now
ma'am.
comes the feedback. So when I just joined the conversation, so what if you start putting up that resilience in your face and the kind of the beautiful personality you have. Oh, thank you so much. So, one was if you will start resonating that charm from the beginning, even
All right.
you will be filled with the confidence from the
Mhm.
beginning only. And it would help you to not to be specifically conscious about what words you're going to utter. However, keeping that in mind, we have to add on certain things, whatever are coming to our mind. So, one thing at a time is good, but at the same time, you should be ready with what you have to speak next.
All right, ma'am.
Right. Second thing which we have to take care is once we're having a conversation, don't always rush for the accuracy because
All right.
sometimes metaphors can be used, sometimes similes can be used, and more or less fillers can be avoided if by any chance somebody comes across. It's okay. let that pass through with a smile. So, if by any chance there is somebody who has interrupted you during your course or during your conversation, like somebody barged in your room, it's
Right.
okay. It is something normal, and people are unaware of what we are into. Of course, that might interrupt you during the conversation, but at the same time, we can have a free flow of conversation because we are confident selves and we can have a faith in ourselves that whatever we are having a conversation, it can go on smoothly and we can resume it from there. And
Certainly,
that
yes.
smile should be there with the word. Um, Apologies for the inconvenience. Shall I just resume again? So we can just resume there and then.
Right, ma'am.
Right. So, yes, there were a couple of instances that here and there, a wee bit pronunciations could have been better, but it's quite all right. Like I have already mentioned, that you're already focusing on the accuracy and to be a finesse. It's okay that you have, even if there is one or the other mistake, we can somehow overlook that. But during the conversation, always try to be a comfortable speaker. If you will always try to be a comfortable speaker, you'll come up as a natural and fluent speaker,
Right, ma'am.
right? And always keep a smile because that is always going to embark a confident person in front of the eyes of the listener.
Yes, ma'am. Right.
Right. So it was such a good time, Sunil, and I hope to see you again. I had a really
Sure.
good time listening to your thoughts, and I'm quite privileged currently to have you with me. And like you've already mentioned about the instances regarding the person who is going to be prime minister, I hope the prime ministers would come up with the same thoughts and let the world be a good place to breathe in
Right.
and to live in.
Yes, yes. I also learned a lot, and I'm going to work on the feedback that you have shared.
I'm quite sure you're going to definitely keep that up
Yes,
for the next
yes.
conversation, and I'm going to definitely meet you surely.
Huh. Sure, ma'am.
All right. Have a great evening, Sunil. Take care. Bye bye.
You too, ma'am. Bye. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining.